Today, I'm going to be talking about my favorite high cap crypto in terms of multipliers for this bull run, which is Theta. But before I do, guys, I want to talk to you about a few things before we get straight into the content and straight into the information. First of all, guys, if you're not already, please subscribe to my channel. I upload every single day, keeping you guys updated with the latest and the greatest low cap gems. Also, these times when the crypto market is largely flat are the times when my Patreons start to flourish as we buy pretty big into these altcoins that I like, and there's brand new ones now which I wasn't talking about maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 months ago. So definitely make sure to check out the Patreon, guys. The link is in the description. These are the gains that we were making, right? 40 or 50x on Viot, depending on when you bought in, 40x on Demetra, and a 10x on Singularity Net, as well as all of these other gains that we were making in such a short period of time back in January and February. Don't forget that when the altcoins start coming back up, this group will be making the biggest gains. Link is in the description. Now, guys, we're going to be talking about Theta today. Now, when I mention Theta and I say it's my favorite high cap in terms of gains, I'm talking about in terms of multipliers. I have many other high caps with more allocation. Quant, I have more of, and Matic, I have more of, and Ethereum and Bitcoin, obviously. But in terms of actual X gains that Theta could promulgate, I think it's like no other crypto in the kind of top 50. I really believe that Theta is one of the only top 50 cryptos that can genuinely do around a 30 to 50x this bull run. Usually, when you're looking for those types of gains, you have to look quite low down into the altcoins. You have to look maybe outside of the top 50, maybe outside of the top 100. Whereas with Theta, I think it's very doable for this one to explode this bull run, garner huge hype, huge potential, and go right past its all-time high and do around a 30 to 50x. And I know it sounds very ridiculous. I'll probably start taking profits much earlier. I'll probably start taking profits around a 20x. But to be on the safe side, that's what I would do. So let's start off by going over some of the things that I really like about Theta. We'll talk about the good and we'll talk about the bad, and I'll give you guys a very balanced overview at the end of the video on whether or not this could be a good investment for you. But remember, none of this is financial advice. It's all just my opinion only. So one of the major things that I like about Theta is that circulating supply percentage. You can see very clearly there, it's a 100% circulating supply. All the tokens are out, no dilution, nothing to worry about at all there. You've got 1 billion tokens in circulation and 1 billion tokens as the max supply. So the fully diluted valuation is the exact same as the actual valuation. This is a very rare quality. And for a project that aims to be like a good investment or a good store of value, a high percentage circulating supply is usually a very good sign. Another thing I really like is the fact that last bull run it performed very, very well, and there's even more things added to it now. So last bull run, Theta went to a market cap of around $14 billion and a price of around $14. Now consider the fact that last bull run, there was less going on with Theta than what there is now. There's more updates, there's more news, there's more partnerships going on board with Theta now compared to what there was last bull run. So this means that perhaps if Theta garners as much hype as what it did last bull run, you're going to go right past this all-time high and maybe go on to do double it or maybe even triple it, right? A lot of altcoins go and do double or triple their all-time highs in the next bull run. And I think Theta will definitely be one of those. Now, the main thing that everyone talks about with Theta is the partnerships. And you can see already when you go on this, it's just absolutely incredible. You got the likes of NASA, Samsung, Sony, huge companies getting on board with Theta. And that is an absolute no-brainer in terms of generating hype. Whether you guys like it or not, having these big corporations getting involved with a cryptocurrency garners a lot of retail hype. People get excited, people think it's serious, and people invest their money. So for me, these types of partnerships are huge, huge wins when it comes to Theta's actual marketing. Now, I know they mean a lot in terms of the actual product, but in terms of the marketing, it's also a major benefit. Now, you've got the likes of the Twitch CEO and the YouTube CEO, I believe, getting on board with Theta. They're like on the board, right? They're on the kind of I don't know what the word is, but the advisor kind of side of things. They're advising Theta on what to do. Now, they wouldn't be on this board if they didn't believe in this technology, if they didn't believe that this technology could actually be beneficial to YouTube and Twitch's business models. They could save a ton of money if they use Theta Network because of the lower fees, because of the scalability, and because of the security. So these things are major benefits of Theta Network's blockchain. And you can see the names here. The project is advised by Steve Chen, the co-founder of YouTube, and Justin Kan, co-founder of Twitch. So these are two of the big boys when it comes to media and video streaming, if not the two biggest, right? YouTube and Twitch. But don't get me wrong, you haven't just got them. You've got people on board from Google, people on board from Samsung, Sony, and loads of other companies. So the big businesses are definitely getting involved with Theta. And that is usually a good sign that if they're risking their money with this crypto asset, if they're risking their reputation with this crypto asset, by the way, guys, if this turned out to be a rug, the guys who are advising it would get a lot of slack, right? So it's a very solid sign of safety in this investment. So one of the major benefits of Theta as well is the fact that you're investing in something which is relatively safe. Okay, you've got major companies backing it, major people getting involved. If it was really, really risky, these types of people wouldn't get on board. So you've got a project which I think is clearly in its bear market. When the bull run hits, when everyone's talking about Web3 again, the money's going to start pouring in. So you've also got the platform of Theta TV, which is Theta's own video streaming platform. Now, this is obviously using Theta's technology. It will never go down. It's very secure, very cheap as well. And you can see there is quite decent activity, to be honest, on this platform. You have live streams. 38 people are viewing this one. 6 people are viewing this. 1541 people are viewing this one. So you can see that people are actually using these, right? People are watching these. People are enjoying them. And there's definitely activity within this platform. NASA, you can see there, has a running live stream on Theta, which is pretty incredible to think. Gala Games, CoinDesk, you've got loads and loads of different crypto companies getting involved. Now, you don't need to believe in this platform. You don't need to think that this is going to be the next YouTube, because this is a separate platform from Theta Network itself. Theta isn't necessarily trying to be the next YouTube, although they do have their platform. Theta's trying to be the next infrastructure for YouTube. That is the difference. You can have Theta, you can have Twitch and YouTube simultaneously, and it would actually benefit Theta's business model. That, for me, is the major thing that ties me towards Theta, because it's not this major business trying to say, right, we're going to overtake YouTube, we're going to overtake Facebook, we're going to overtake Twitch. What they are doing is saying, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, you can come to us and we'll make it much cheaper for you, much more secure, and you'll have no network outages. So it's a much more friendly business model, which in my opinion is much more future-proof as well. And this is a general thesis of my own crypto ideology. I look quite often for infrastructural plays rather than things that are trying to overtake already existing Web2 companies, right? I don't try and invest into the next Facebook because it's very unlikely that you will pick the right one. I don't necessarily try and invest into the next big game, the next Fortnite. You could say, well, Illuvium's going to be the next big game. But for me, that's too risky. I would rather invest in Immutable X rather than investing in a single game. I would rather invest in Theta rather than investing in a single cryptocurrency that's trying to overtake YouTube, because I think it's far more likely for infrastructural players to do well than what it is for a little small cryptocurrency trying to be the next YouTube. So this, for me, is a general thesis of my overall cryptocurrency investing. I invest in NFT infrastructure. I don't buy the NFTs. I invest in gaming infrastructure. I don't always buy the gaming projects. I do buy a few, but I invest in the infrastructure generally just as much. So that is something to also notice. You have got the Theta Fuel, the T Fuel rewards token, which is gained by staking. Now, if you want more of a kind of high risk, high reward investment, but you also like Theta, the T Fuel token may be a really good option for you. This one's smaller in market cap right? $276 million in market cap, just as good tokenomics, and arguably the utility is just as good, if not better. So, the potential is definitely there. This one could really explode. If it goes back to its all-time highs, you're going to be getting some really nice gains as well. So this is another project to potentially watch and potentially add to your watch list. Okay, so now I've talked about the benefits of Theta and why I believe it's so good. Let's talk about one potential thing which could be a slight cause for concern. And don't get me wrong, guys, I'm very bullish on it overall. This is just one negative that I could find. Now, the one slight thing that worries me a little bit about Theta is the fact that in November 2021, when most of the cryptos were absolutely pumping crazy, Theta was not at its all-time high. Theta was only at $7, which was half of its all-time high. So Theta was already down 50% by the time that a lot of the altcoins were making new all-time highs, and Bitcoin was as well. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that the project is dead. This doesn't necessarily mean anything awful. But when this happens with a lot of crypto projects, and then you go on the yearly chart is quite often red or very flat, and Theta kind of shows that as well. So what you're seeing with Theta is a decline in the volume, is a decline in the activity and the interest since April 2021, and it hasn't actually recovered since. So this can be a slight, cause of concern. I would have preferred Theta to have its all-time high in November, maybe, around here, but you can see very clearly that Theta's all-time high was back in April at the first part of the double top for Bitcoin. Not necessarily terrible, doesn't necessarily mean it's over for Theta. It just means it's something to watch. The fact that it didn't do as well in November, there's a few questions around that. Okay, now I've given a balanced view. I've talked about the great things that I like, and I've talked about the slight cause for concern. Let's actually do a kind of roadmap for becoming a millionaire just by investing in Theta. Now, one point that I would say, for a lot of people, this is not going to be possible. A lot of you guys aren't going to become a millionaire just by investing in Theta because the capital that you have is not enough. For some people, you are dealing with decent amounts of capital, like myself. You're putting in $40,000, $50,000 into some of these projects. Absolutely fine for you. A millionaire is possible. But for the average person, and I understand because I was in that situation, the average person cannot be putting in $50,000 into a project like this, if even $5,000 sometimes, right? They can only put in £50, £500, whatever, right? So what you can basically do with these targets is you can divide them by 10, essentially. So we're looking at $1 million here. Let's say you want to make 100 grand off Theta. You can divide this by 10. So instead of investing 57, you could invest 5.7 and you could earn 100K from 5.7. If you want to make 10K, you'd obviously divide it by 100 and you'd only have to invest $570, right? So that's kind of how we're doing it here. So I've made some different strategies depending on your risk tolerance, depending on how long you want to wait it and if you want to be on the safe side or not. And this is what I've formed. So if you want to take the safe route and you want to go full safe and sell at all-time high, you could sell Theta at 17.5x your money, and you would only have to invest $57,000 in order to become a millionaire. Now, I say only, that's a lot of money for most people. That's very unrealistic. I completely understand that, right? If you want to be more on the realistic side, right, in between on the conservative side, but also the ambitious side, then you could go ahead and sell at $20, right? So $20, a little bit past all-time high, nothing crazy. No one would really be surprised if Theta did that. That would be a 25x on your money, and you would have to invest $40,000 in order to become a millionaire with Theta. Now, if you want to be a bit more ambitious, and I think this is actually quite realistic, and sell at $30, which I, by the way, think, again, is very realistic, you would be making a 37.5x your money. So if you invested $26,000, you could become a millionaire by investing in Theta, selling at a $30 price. If you wanted to buy Theta Fuel and sell Theta Fuel at $1.5, which I think is quite realistic considering that the all-time high is 68 cents. If you wanted to go down that option, you could sell Theta Fuel and you could make a 34x on your money, and you would only need to invest $29.4 thousand. Now, this is something which I just like to do, right? Road to $1 million. It's good for the eyes. I know a lot of you guys won't be able to get to these levels by investing in one project. I don't ever recommend putting all your eggs in one basket. It's much better to diversify. But this just kind of gives you peace of mind. If you want to be safe, you can be getting a 17.5x, right? If you want to be safe. If you want to be somewhat in the middle, kind of realistic, but also, not too ambitious, you can go for a 25x your money. You invest $1,000, you can take out $25,000. If you want to be a bit more on the ambitious side, you can invest $1,000 and you could be making $37.5 thousand. So very, very good and respectable returns on Theta. So guys, that is going to be it for this video. Before I finish, please make sure to check out my Patreon page. It's linked in the description. I'm talking about the latest and the greatest low cap gems. Whenever I'm buying a new altcoin, whether it's a low cap, tiny micro cap with barely any money in it, I'll be telling this group. Or if it's a high cap such as Theta, I will also be telling this group. So check it out, guys. The link's in the description. I recommend the VIP Plus tier. This one gives you access to my Telegram group, my VIP Telegram group. It's full of like-minded individuals. Think about this. You need to invest £55 a month to get access to this Telegram group. That basically cuts out all of the people who aren't too serious, right? You're dealing with high capital individuals here. People who have a lot of money, people who are trying to make a lot of money. So I definitely recommend it if you can afford it. You get the Telegram group, which is a huge network of loads of crypto millionaires and beginners as well. You also gain access to full traceability of my portfolio, so you can track when I'm buying exactly, when I'm selling exactly, and when I'm doing all those different things. You can do it and copy along if you wish. And you also get daily webinars. And I'm also going to be bringing out a newsletter every single week to this group, which is another perk of being in this tier. Finally, guys, if you want to be really serious, go for that boss tier. You can book a one-to-one call with myself, and I can go over any of your crypto needs, whether it's structuring your portfolio, looking at some of your altcoins, or whatever it is. I have you covered. But remember, guys, there's something for everyone in this group. You can look lower down the tiers at the VIP tier, at the elite tier. There's something for everyone. No matter what your budget is, you will gain huge benefits from this group. Check it out. Join for a month. See what you like. See if you get good value. And I'm sure you'll continue. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.